Hello. There we go. Welcome to Promise Resource Network. I'm Jane, and this is Body, Mind, Spirit. It's Monday here. If you're catching this live, it's more than likely Monday wherever you are, unless you're watching this from the future. But either way, happy Monday if you're here. Hey, good morning, Lauren. How are you? I'm happy you're here. I'm really excited about today's topic and this kind of week's topic. I spent a week a while back talking about pain, and I kind of want to talk about pain this week, but this perspective is different than it was before. I want to talk about whose pain we're carrying. Because, like I feel like we're all one on some level. So it's like, what am I actually feeling? How are you feeling, Lauren? Are you feeling, how's your body? How's your mind? How's your spirit? How you feeling? And while hopefully you can share with me, I also want to share with everyone some phone numbers. So first, I'll show you the front desk number. Boom. So check this out, y'all. If you are interested in being a peer support, working with or for Promise Resource Network, if you're interested in volunteering, scheduling some support with any of the staff, please call the front desk, the number 704-390-7709. That's funny. It sounds a lot like my phone number, but it's not. And so when I was saying it, I had a moment of, wait. Anyway, so you can call the front desk. Kim will probably be the one to answer, and you'll love her if you don't know her. And then you'll get to know her, and you're going to love her even more. So that's the front desk phone number. So take a screenshot or rewind this whenever you're done. And then here's the other phone number that I think everybody in the world should know. It's the PRN warm line. So this phone number is toll free. So it's free. You can call it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever it is you talk about, nobody's going to share. So it's super private. It's confidential. The number for that's 833-390-7728. So you can call that number if you want a listening ear, if you want to share some good news, some not so good news, some realizations, some whatever you want. It's a warm line. So call it, use it. It is there for so much love and support. So you can screenshot that. And I want to get back to what I want to talk about today. Oh my gosh, I just hopped back onto the chat and everybody's here. Hey, good morning. My mom is here. And Marv, how are you, dear sir? Hey, Charles, how are you? How you feeling? How are y'all feeling today? Lauren's feeling good. I know there's a lot of good vibes. Not good or bad, but like the vibe feels totally different today, I feel. It began for me a couple days ago. It was very interesting. I chose to take a couple days kind of alone. I was still around people, but it was more alone than I normally am. And hey, good morning, Alan. I'm happy you're here. So yeah, I took some days more to myself than I usually do. And yesterday had a gathering in the backyard, and it felt different. It felt like spring has sprung. And maybe because here it was like springtime, and then it got really cold. And then it's like, okay, I'm back. Okay, ready. Pollenville, and everything is blooming, and it's fantastic. And everybody's sneezing and snotting all over the place because there's thick pollen everywhere. So it just feels like life is back. And I feel that that's what April is going to feel like. Like, okay, life is back, taking charge, feeling good, playing, dancing, connecting. Like that is this energy of this month. So let's ride this wave as a collective, y'all. May is going to be different. So not that it's going to be bad. I'm saying let's enjoy April, right? April vibes feel really good and really high right now. for a lot of people. So definitely, Lauren, you're not the only one. Marv is ready to greet the day and the world, and you're starting it here with us. I feel honored, dude. Yay. Charles is feeling rushed to get the things done. It's a lot of that energy. I feel that like I still just drank my 1 cup of black tea in the morning. If I were to be drinking coffee right now, I would feel that like almost anxious rush to do the things. So Charles, I wonder if you're drinking coffee, I wonder if you could scale it back for the next few weeks to just black tea in the morning. I don't know. But that actually may be of service because the energy right now is high. There's a lot of movement. All the plants are literally moving and like growing big time, like spewing out all of their pollen. The bees are everywhere. There's just life teeming, right? All over the place. And not only that, but if you study Ayurveda, we're shifting seasons. We're moving from Kapha to Pitta. So that means that all this like downward, watery earth energy that like lets us go inward for the winter, right? It's starting to move and shift up, and it's more like fiery, watery. It's lighter energy. So even nature itself, the earth herself, is moving a little bit more. And if you look at any like geomagnetic news, like some of us do, the earth is moving quite a bit. So anyway, I want to say good morning to Michael. Hello. And hey, good morning, Nicole. How are you? Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Y'all, I had this really fascinating experience, and I just want to share it because it kind of sparked my topic for this week. I'm going to pause on that because Alan just shared that he drank chamomile tea with his breakfast. So calming, so centering and grounding. I love chamomile. Y'all, check this out. I made this tea night before last. I got a cold brew, a coffee. It's a carafe, and you use it for cold brew coffee, but you can also put like a bunch of like loose tea in it and make just a big like 1.5 liters of a tea. So I put a cinnamon stick in it, a bunch of tulsi, and a bunch of lavender flowers. And I brewed this, and some friends were here from out of town, and the 4 of us sat around the other night. We all had this cup of tulsi, cinnamon, lavender tea. And we were all about halfway down with this cup of tea, and we were like, I am so chill. And we all like totally crashed out with the bed. It was amazing. So excited about this $13 purchase, y'all. So good. And Marv sharing that he's wanting to increase his step count. As I've gone well over 6,000 steps in the last week. What? Yeah, dude, totally. And then Charles says, let's see, only had 1 cup of coffee. The phone is ringing off the hook. The bookings are filling up, and being service-minded, feeling the need to help everyone out and give them just what they need. Yeah, so that's going to tie into what I want to share, Charles. So perfect timing. I love that you just shared that. So I have personally been experiencing physical pain. More than I would normally like to. Good morning, Roberta. More than I would normally like to. Yes, Marv, you could totally increase your goal. You totally can. So I've been in some physical pain, right? I've had it checked out. Like, I know what it is. I'm doing PT and working through it. So yay. And I'm finding it really interesting because I can also physically pick up on other people's pain. And I'm becoming more attuned to that, which means it's happening more frequently. And as I then realize it, then the pain I can clear out. So check this out. So we were on a hike, Michael and 2 other people and myself. And I just started getting this really weird cramp in my right calf, like out of nowhere. And I was like, what is happening? Like, this is weird. I don't know what this is. And I just kept, just breathing through it, not a big deal. And the woman that was with us was mentioning this a soreness that she was feeling. And I looked at her and I pointed right to where I was feeling the sensation on my calf. And I said, is your leg hurting you right here? And she was like, yes. And I was like, son of a bee, this pain in my calf isn't mine. I was feeling her pain. So I took a breath and I let it go. And I was like, that's not my pain. And it went away. Gone. Like it was gone. It didn't come back. It was gone. And so I'm like, just thinking about that and how much pain we carry that's not even ours. Like, for real though, it's literally not ours. And we will carry it around as if it were. And I can tell that some of the physical stuff that I'm feeling, I can tell that some of it's my mom's. I have had some physical stuff that I feel is probably my dad's due to some chronic stuff that he has. And so I did some breath work this morning and some energy clearing on myself. And a lot of the physical discomfort that I was feeling is now gone. So, so there's power to knowing what pain you are in and whose it is. So, Charles, I also realized something that I have recently been saying no to people. I have stopped some of the jobs that I have had for the past few years. I have canceled some events because I realized that it just wasn't comfortable for me. It just wasn't comfortable. Space is too small. Don't want to wear a mask. Love the place. Just it's not in alignment right now. And so I'm it's not comfortable for me to say no, and it's definitely not comfortable for me to cancel, especially if it's something that I said yes to originally. Um, but hey, I'm learning every day. So I've put some things on the back burner. I've canceled some of my commitments. I've spoken up at one of my jobs, and which I hate calling them jobs because it's not like the job. It's like I work with three nonprofits mainly, and I love them, so I don't consider this a job. I mean, technically it is, but I don't count it. I don't anyway. So I told the establishment of one of the places that I share time with certain things that I would really want to see moving forward for myself and the whole establishment, and it was really well received and supported. And I'm like, okay. And then same thing, another establishment. I was like, okay, I would like to back burner some of these things. This is what I'd like to see. Super supported. So all that to say, I'm noticing, Charles, especially, that as I am telling some people and places no, the things that are coming in are more opportunities for me to have an easier life, actually, like an easier time. And my pain is lessening. My pain is physically diminishing as I am saying no to this, stepping away from that, for me, courageously walking toward something else that I have my eye on, which is still the kind of the same thing that I've been doing. It's just from a different perspective. So I think that many times we will carry other people's pain and we don't even realize we're carrying it. And what it feels like, though, is a burden. In that space of I feel burdened or burdensome, I then will wear myself down and I will manifest even more pain because now I'm stressed out. Because the more stressed we are, the more pain we're going to be in. Big time. So I'm curious, do you all think that you're carrying someone else's pain? And if so, do you know whose? I feel that we can, and when I say pain, because this can go, we're going to talk about physical pain, mental pain, and spiritual pain or energetic pain. Right now, I'm kind of talking about the physical because it's like the easiest to like kind of nail down. Michael says, always. You're always feeling other people's, you're always in pain. What? You're carrying other. Would you specify, Michael? I'm not sure what you mean. Y'all thought that conversation whiplash? I thought that that was my part. Like, I thought that was my head, but I'm starting to get like a gray streak right there. And I can see it on here. It's actually white, silver. Anyway, so when asking, are you carrying other people's pains? And if so, whose? So, okay, so Michael said always, and carrying around friends, family, and any other human I have compassion for. I think we all carry other pain to some degree, whether we believe it or not. Yes, we do, for sure. Yes, we all technically do carry everyone's every other living being's pain and suffering. There's a saying in something, if one is suffering, we are all suffering. And that's kind of a profound statement, because then that makes me want to be better, do better, and support other people's pain and suffering with so much love and compassion to kind of spread that around. So yeah. Lauren says, this is a new thing for me to think about, and I'd like to meditate on it more. But I think I might be carrying my parents' pain, at least partially. Yeah. So because of quantum entanglement alone, right? So say you have a parent that wears corrective lenses, and their parents wore corrective lenses, okay? Eyeglasses. So the parents, your parents, will then look at you as a little and think, right? Well, they're going to need glasses too because I had glasses and my mom had glasses and her mom had glasses. So they're going to have glasses too. So now the observer is looking at you as in lack, needing eyeglasses. Okay? You're this open vessel. You don't know anything. You don't care about your vision because you can see clearly because you're a kid, right? And depending on how early it was on the onset of the parent looking at you like you need eyeglasses, the more likely you are to need eyeglasses. So you are carrying around their belief system because of quantum entanglement. That in which the observer changes to what the observer is observing. I know that sounds weird, but that's what that is. So we can carry even around physical ailments. And because of our biofields and how closely tied we are to each other, especially if you are in a close proximity, or even if you have the genetics and cellular samesies as your parent, that's why so many people have, oh, it's a genetic thing. It's a genetic thing. Well, even if it isn't genetic, we can still be carrying around their physical challenges. I've seen people who like, like say a parent walks like this, right? Just like a shoulder up, shoulder down. And then you see the kid and they're walking the same way. It's like, how's that happening? Is it because the child is mimicking? Or is it because the child, being their open energy field, is feeling the parent's physical discomfort and is like readjusting themselves to bring themselves relief, right? I find it fascinating. I'm going to scroll back up and see what y'all are saying. Yeah, Mar says, sometimes I feel sorrow right in the middle of a very happy mood, and I've recently realized that it's someone else. So I try to reach their spirit with my spirit, even though I don't know who it is. That's perfect. Yes. And I'll get more into that, the energetic, emotional pains for sure, in just a moment, because I want to see what everybody else is saying. Let's see, Alan says, I don't know if I am or have been carrying someone else's pain. I've been so focused on my own, right? If all I feel is my pain, when I was walking in the woods and all I felt was my calf, I felt it hurt. And then the woman just said something about a previous hike and how there was a strenuous part. And I was just like, and then I was like, so oftentimes we don't even know that. So that's why this, I think, is such an important topic, because whenever I am in pain, if I ask myself, if this is mine, let me figure out. If this is not my pain, then let it be transmuted to either the source from which it came or to the source of all it is, for it to be healed, shifted, dissolved, transmuted, alchemized, loved with grace, joy, and ease, right? No harm, no foul, no pain. And then whatever isn't mine literally kind of like a vacuum sucks out. It's not mine. We're very powerful. So yeah, we can be so focused on our own that we forget that we can ask ourselves, because we are the divine messenger. Our body is the divine messenger. And sometimes we just got to ask ourselves. Really? Lauren says that she and her dad had literally talked about yesterday, seemed to have inherited TMJ from him. Right? So then it's like, is it his and you've literally been carrying it around? Or is it the epigenetics, right? Is it the stories that are in his mind, that just really tense him out and stress him out? And when we're in that much strain and same neural pathways, we will activate DNA. So then you can carry around the DNA of a stressful, of a certain type of stress. And then that stress gets to be managed through me. And the way I'm going to do it is I want to clench my jaw. Now I've got TMJ, right? So yeah, totally. Yeah. And Marv, yeah. Saying that if all of a sudden he's happy and he feels something sad, then that after a few minutes of meditating on whoever's sadness this is, let my spirit touch their spirit and tell them how loved they are. And then that pain will go away. Hey, good morning, Ben. Melissa, good morning. Says, hey, I was wallowing in my own sadness until I saw that what you were talking about today. As usual, you were talking about what I need to hear. Isn't that fun? I'm so glad you're here. And I'll talk more about like the emotional stuff in just a moment. Hey, Lila, how are you? I was just sharing about you and Jade Roller goodness with a friend of mine. I tagged her in a post. I hope she gets one of your products, because they're only my favorite. Anyway. She says, let's see, one of my favorite things about you is your knowledge based on stuff like this. Oh, so cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big nerd. I study and download a lot of stuff. Yeah, Roberta, we totally manifest that. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. So glad you mentioned epigenetic factors. Epigenetics have been, it's a thing, right? And it's been so not even looked at, acknowledged, or talked about in any mental or emotional health, or even physical health, in any health realm, because the pharmaceutical companies aren't going to make any money on epigenetics now, are they? Let's see, Charles says, I've asked for all this support from the universe and I'm getting it tenfold. I've been asking for help and no one is willing to, even though I pay super well. I don't feel the physical pain of others. Emotional, yes. I've got physical pain enough of my own. It shrouds out others. That's interesting. That what if the help... I've realized something for myself, and I'll just share this. Wherever it lands, it lands. this whole time of my life, it feels like it, a big chunk of my life, it may have been the last year or 5 years, nows, bunch of nows, I keep asking for support. I keep asking friends, the universe, ask everybody. I just need help, like kind of organizing and honing, because these are the things that I love. And although I know I'm doing them, can I make it so that it's more concise and it's more this and everybody wants to help and no one is able to. And I'm learning that for me, in this situation, the best thing that I've done is to say no when it doesn't fill my cup. If it doesn't fill my cup, and then that allows more space for yeses, and then more people are coming in to help that I'm not even asking for, although I kind of have already asked for them. It's just that they're now coming into my life. And it's interesting because, we have a lot of physical pain that is ours, right? Like the pain that I'm experiencing, I am experiencing it. Like it is mine. And like when I was feeling the calf pain, I felt it was mine, but it didn't come from that. It didn't come from me. It didn't come from my movement or lack of. So then when I think about other physical pains, is it that I'm over moving? Is it that I'm under moving? Is it that I'm moving in a repetitive way and not balancing out my repetitive movements with opposite movement? So then is my pain due to overdoing for others and not doing for me? So then is that pain mine, or is it my pain in the name of someone else's ease? So putting that out there. Because it's been something that I'm learning through personally. But yeah, y'all, we carry around other people's pains. But for real, we carry around other people's physical pains. I was working on someone, and like they are a body worker, and they've been working on someone who has a lot of like arthritis kind of like pains, and so their client has like physical hand and arm pains. So I'm working with my friend who is the body worker, and it was like all of a sudden all the pain that she had been having in her hands and arms like kind of went away because she realized that it wasn't hers. She was picking up on her client's physical pain because she was always with this client and kind of working the pain out of this person. So she was carrying around the pain in her hands. And so all of the pain alleviated when she realized that it wasn't hers. So then, can you all think of any physical pains that you're kind of like, you know what, maybe this isn't mine. Maybe it's not. Can you think of any physical pains that may not be yours? I won't share the name because it's not my story to tell, and yet I feel like it's a very powerful example. So a friend of mine has had a relative that had like a feeding tube, and it was like right on their side. And my friend kept feeling all of this pain in their side, right? I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds of miles away from each other. But my friend was having all this pain in their side. And come to find out that the person who had the feeding tube that they were genetically and lovingly close with had an infection and like was having a physical challenge with their feeding tube. And then once that like infection and stuff kind of gotten taken care of, then my friend's pain started to alleviate. And then once the transition happened where there was no longer a feeding tube, that physical pain in their side went away. Like, will hold on to pain, especially, I feel like, especially if we care. Like, I don't know if that's like a thing, but I feel like that's a thing. I'm going to check a thing, because boop, 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 silent, because I think, okay, I just wanted to make sure that you all weren't commenting, because sometimes the computer does a thing. Cool. Okay. Had to check. So yeah. I have been, I think I shared that I have had some physical pain, and I just spoke with someone close to me who is starting to feel a sensation like kind of like on their left side of their body in their leg. They tell me this the same day that I started to have left leg sensations and discomfort. Like, it's bonkers. It's so bonkers how humans work, y'all. We're like the trees. Literally, we're like the trees. So, do y'all remember when the Amazon was burning last year? Right? So they could, like, whoever the they is, I don't remember where I read it, but it was said that like they could hear the trees screaming. I was part of I was in a forest and helping some people cut down a couple of trees, and it was like I could feel it in my heart, like oh god, like they're killing them. Like there was like this inner web of community energy with the trees. You know, it's like that if you look in the fungus world, you know, mushrooms, they're underground consciousness talkers, like they know all the things. Humans are the same. We're so interconnected that we will feel the pain of someone else. That's why it's really important to keep us aligned so much that we know what it is that we're feeling and what we're not feeling, so that we can like move through it. Because I don't want to trudge through someone else's pain and suffering and shit. I got my own. We all do. Oh, Alan says, I've never thought that I have felt someone else's physical pain. Yes. Mark says, sometimes we have physical pain and we don't allow others to know we are suffering because we fear judgment. Oh yeah. I have recently been experiencing that, Marv. It sucks so bad. Oh, it does. That right there, that's a thing. Like, that's a thing. Hey, Jack. Jack says this is a very deep topic. I totally agree with you. Thanks. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Marv, dude, check this out. I was, so I've been in this physical discomfort, and I have not remotely communicated to the extent of the pain that I've been in. Not even a little bit. And this is what I realized, because I've been meditating on it for like 6 months now, because it was progressively just getting worse. So I was in and have been in so much physical pain, and I don't want to share it because I don't want to be a burden. It's embarrassing. I feel weak. I don't want someone else to judge me as weak or less than or in lack, right? I don't need that. I don't need that perspective. I don't need those eyes on me. It literally will quantumly make it worse. And then I realized I don't want to appear old. And I sat with this recently. I'm like, why don't I want to be viewed as old? Like, being an elder is beautiful. Like, it's part of life. And I realized what it was. It's because in our culture, we leave the elders. We put them away, we ignore them, we forget about them, we put them in homes. We completely ignore the elders. And, just like the young kids, right? We put them in the school system, blind eye. You just take care of my children and you make them pass all the tests so that they can go to college and support me when I'm old, right? They don't even know what the kids are being indoctrinated into. But we forget how to care for the elders. And in that, and I was like, oh my God, it's the same exact way of how people treat the earth. Just forget about it. Just it'll be fine. Someone else will take care of it. And so oftentimes, many of us that are in any kind of pain don't even share to the extent of it. I don't want someone to think I am unable to be of service. Well, if Jane's in pain, I don't want to bother her. And then I might feel useless, right? Then I don't feel valuable. And then I start to feel sad. And then my pain gets worse. So pain is a really interesting cycle that we all get to dance in, because we're all going to experience it if we're not already, right? Like we all have physical pain, we all have mental pain, we all have emotional pain, we all have spiritual pain. Where are you on the cycle? Are you aware of it? And then it's kind of like we're all in this cycle of just pain and joy and good and bad and left, right, and up and down. Like we're all on that. I don't want to jump off of my little super weirdo spinning circle of life, jump on someone else's and pick up all their crap and then jump back on mine. But that's what we do in the quantum realm called human. So that's a thing. Thank you, Jack, for not judging me. Love you. Yeah, Sharon says that she has felt others' physical and emotional pain without them ever mentioning it to them or mentioning it to her, right? And Mark says one thing we seem to receive from others when we're in pain, we get over it. Not so easy to do for some of us. Oh yeah, if you're in any kind of pain, when I don't care what kind of pain, right? And someone's like, get over it, just move through it, you're fine. Like, no, I'm not, especially if it's someone else's pain that you've been carrying around, and check this out. So say you've been carrying around, Charles, I'm going to read what you have to say in just a second. Say you've been carrying around someone's pain, say your partner. Okay. So say your partner, and this is going to be where we kind of start to get into the emotional and mental pains because they're so interwoven, right? Mental pains lead to emotional pains, big time. And then it's like, do we just feed into the emotional pain or do we feed into the mental loop of pain? So I'm going to lump them together here. So telling us to get over it. You ever been with a partner and they are, depressed? Okay. They're depressed. Maybe you've been the partner that's been depressed. I'm going to use the other person as this example though. So you have a partner and they are just depressed. Like that, right? And you used to be like super jovial and lighthearted and energetic. And you notice like that they've been kind of going down the emotional hill into like super sad land. And they've been there for a really long time now. And you can kind of pick them up, and then you can kind of feel when you're just kind of tired of that. And so you kind of get down because you just want them to be better, right? That's your down. That's your sadness. Like, I want them to feel better. Like, I'm sad about it, And then have you ever had the partner that has been depressed and all of a sudden you realize that you haven't left the house in 6 weeks? You haven't really taken a shower. You've just been ordering food. You haven't been cooking. You haven't really been outside. And you realize like you've been behaving as if you too are depressed. And yet when you really ask yourself, like, what am I actually sad about? And you're like, your higher self is like, nothing, you're fine. You're like, I know I am, but like, what's been going on? We can get sucked into the emotional vortex of someone that we're close to, especially if we live with them. Say your partner, your housemate, right? Your parent, your child, is super stressed out. Like they're bugging. They got a deadline, they got a paper, whatever they got, right? They're stressed out. And next thing you know, like you're exhibiting your old coping mechanisms of when you used to have anxiety. But you don't have anxiety right now. You're not remotely stressed out. You're feeling really peaceful. But you realize that you're behaving as if you are in your anxiety state again. This is how relapses can happen real easily because we are exposed to so much other information, data, energy, pains that if we don't know what's ours and what's not and how to cope, we just go back into relapse mode. That's why like if you have been, say, a heavy drinker and you stop drinking and you want to go hang out with all your same friends that are still going out drinking every night or drinking excessively or whatever, like it doesn't feel good. On so many levels, it doesn't feel good. Hell, that's why I can't even be around people that drink. Not just because it doesn't feel good for me, but like I feel their energy, I feel their frequency drop, and I feel that like mental like kind of confusion come in. I feel their own internal moral compass kind of go, I'm gonna go over here and sit on the shelf. And that feels like icky for me. And old me just would have acted upon it and started drinking with them or just acted out like that. Interesting, right? Let's see. Yes. So let's see. Charles shares, I'm talking about physical pain. In my case, physical pain is caused by what I do. My service is doing things for people that they either don't have the equipment to do or simply don't want to put out the physical effort to do. Building that flagstone footpath last week was physically moving 1 ton of rocks by hand. No other way, and no one wants to help regardless of the pay. If you keep saying that no one wants to help, then no one will want to help. Somebody wants to help. I feel like there's a bunch of people in this world locally that would want to help, that would love nothing more than to be outside, moving their body, getting their energy out, being physical, being like hands-on in the earth, in the dirt, with the stones, creating something new. There are people out there. There are tons of people out there. I would totally be doing that if I weren't doing all the other things that like light my soul up in the different ways that they do. So Charles, there are definitely people out there. Keep asking, post it, share it. I don't know what else to do around that when you're looking for help. And you could reach out to communities, like small communities, and say, like, hey, I'm looking for, would anyone like to like apprentice and learn, for pay, trusting that it's going to have a learning curve to it. Tons of stuff can come from this for sure. For sure. So I'm curious, y'all. So we've talked about how we can like kind of pick up on people's physical pains and emotional pains. Can we talk about mental pains? Can we talk about mind pains? Because this one I think is real important. Have you ever been around any group of people or any person that is very loud about their thoughts? Like, almost to the point where everything they say is propaganda, right? Like, I'm gonna tell you about all my thoughts about the vaccine. I'm going to tell you all of them. I don't care if you ask or not. I'm going to tell you, and because I'm going to be biased, right, in one way or another, I'm going to keep telling you about it. And now I'm going to get you sucked into my mental mind loop. Then now you're going to start to get confused. Now you're going to start to question your own belief system. Right? If you've ever watched a commercial, it's been happening to you. Where something is as it is. It's your truth. It's your belief system. And yet you'll hear someone talking about their belief system so much that now you don't know right from wrong. You don't know left from right. You don't know what is what. because you are now in the mind loops of another. We really notice this during election time. You've got the red and you've got the blue team, and they're both telling you why they're right, but moreover, they're telling you why the other side is wrong. And every time one team tells you why the other team is wrong, your mind says, well, that is wrong. I don't like that. They don't like this type of people. Well, they don't like that type of people. They don't want to help human. Well, they don't want to help the earth. And so now what they do is they get you in an unhealthy mind state, and it's not even yours. It's not even your mind loop. It's not you doing any research. It's not, a lot of the mind pains come from whoever's in their mental plane of pain, which is fine. Share it. It's all good. The person, whoever is hearing it, I feel, gets to have this really cool thing called free will and sovereignty and autonomy to research the topic. Like, I've talked to so many people recently, y'all, who are like all about the vaccine. Do you? I don't care. The thing that I find real unsettling is that so many people don't know what it is. They don't know that the mRNA is the messenger that tells your DNA and genetics what to do. They don't know that. And then they're putting something like know what you're doing. Like, if you're going to get a flu vaccine, know that it's going to be a version of the flu. Like, if you don't know that, don't do it. Because then you can start to give yourself other pains because you didn't do your own mental research. Right? It's like if I hear Baptists talking about this and Catholics talking about that, those are mind games. Those are they turn into a mental pain. So it turns into a pain in the butt. But it's up to me to use my mind, look at both sides of the story and say, all right, no judgment, but now I'm informed. I don't want to carry any mental pain around. And now I have clarity of the mind, right? I now have clarity of the mind. Now any mind pain that I have, any mental loops that I go in, they're just mine. Look at what your parents always say. Look at what your parents believe. Are you a believer and a sayer of all that they said and believed because it's just what you were told? Do you not have clarity around it? Does it bring you mental stress? It's kind of like, I think about certain beliefs, right, that are like certain religions, right? You can't drink and you can't dance. Okay? My heart may not like that, but my mind is like, but that's right. That's what I've been told. Don't drink, don't dance. Nope. Calls in the devil. Whatever. But my heart is like, but I want to dance because it's human. Human culture. We do that. We dance and we sing. So now I'm going to have all this inner turmoil, right? I'm going to have stress because my inner self is calling me to go dance and stuff. And now I'm going to have like physical pain. But I think what's really fascinating, I was going to go in like 3 different directions at the same time. So I'm going to try to reel that back in. I do that sometimes. What I find really fascinating is that these belief systems, the mind pains, the mind struggles, the words that our parents say will stick with our minds. They're the most prevalently seen, they're most seeable of the epigenetic stories. And they're the ones that are hidden in plain sight. We don't even realize it. We become parrots. We just repeat the things. Like, yeah, dancing is bad. Dancing is bad. I can't dance. I don't have rhythm. Like, whatever it is. And it's like, this isn't even your mind. It's very interesting to me. I find this stuff fascinating because then it's pain. Anything that holds us back from expressing ourselves, period. Whether it's in movement, freely and fluidly, right? Because it hurts. That's a pain. If I'm not allowed to think outside the box, because I'm told that if I question anything, they label me as a conspiracy theorist, which technically you kind of would want to be that. Anyway, at least I would if you think about it. Anyway, if you question anything, you're a rebel. What? No, I'm not a robot. If someone tells you that you can't be too joyfully expressive and you can't love who you want to love, then we are not allowed to be the full spirit that we are, which is loving and kind and compassionate and embracing of the oneness, Then we start to feel confined and controlled. And then we start to perpetuate more of the pains in the physical, in the mental, and the emotional bodies. Ooh. Jennifer says, thank you for sharing this. Oh, thank you. This is quite affirming to what I've experienced and know within my soul. We are nowhere near as much of a closed system as often think we are. These little soft bodies are quite permeable, both in and out. Right? We are so permeable. Like we have malleability in so many realms. Our mind is so our mind is malleable. We forget that neuroplasticity is a thing. They have this thing about you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We were told that. So that's not true. You can, because of neuroplasticity. We're so malleable. So when I find out that, this pain that I'm in, that's not mine. Now, it doesn't mean that, no, now I'm stuck with it. I've been carrying around grandma's pain forever. I've been carrying around my ancestors' pain forever. Acknowledge the pain, process it, grieve for it, let it go, release it if it's really not yours, like the calf pain that I was experiencing. I was like, that's not even mine. But if my grandmother was enslaved and she never really got to process that because she was enslaved, and so now I still feel this fear of being enslaved or feeling all these things. I don't want to bypass it, right? Because then what am I doing? It's okay, am I carrying around her pain, the pain of the collective, those who've ever been enslaved? How can I process that? How can I transmute it? How can I move that through my malleable form in all these bodies that are malleable, meaning the emotional body, mental body, and physical body? And spiritual body. That's the one that just grows. Hopefully. Yeah, Alan says he can sometimes sense emotional pain. Totally. Yes. Oh, hey, Kimberly, I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation. Charles says, let's see, sounds like you need to find a group that'll let you dance. Why be around others that won't let you think outside the box? Find a group that allows you to be you, right? That's the beauty of having multiples. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't need to find a group that'll let me dance. I dance anyway. Think outside the box. I can't not think outside the box. I can't not. That's the way my brain works. My brain says, this is the box. I see the contents, but look at all these other things, everybody. Look at all of it. See it all. Make a decision. Do you want to be in the box or outside the box? Don't care. Just know what you're working with. Please, just know what you're working with. Know that pain is real and we're all having our own pain experience. We are all having our own pain experience. We have a pain body. If you've ever experienced a physical pain that was kind of big and traumatic, maybe when you were a kid, that sends a shock wave. And that shock wave actually can stay in one of your energy fields. Clearing that shock wave is a totally different type of clearing. Ooh, that's a doozy. It's fun. It's weird. So weird. But we all have pain, y'all. So my encouragement is whenever you have any kind of pain, I don't care what kind of pain it is. Maybe it's a pain that's brand new. You've never had it before. And I'm talking from a pain that just came out of nowhere, or you stubbed your toe and you know where it came from. Ask, why am I getting this pain? Why am I experiencing this pain? Is this pain mine? What's the message in this pain? Ask Ask your body, be still, be with your breath, be open to the answer. It may come in a text message that just says, I just stubbed my toe. And you're like, that wasn't even mine. But my encouragement is to ask yourself, if you start to feel like you're in just like mental agony and you just can't get out of like the mental pain that you're in, I encourage all of us to not beat ourselves up for that. Rather, ask myself, like, is this mine? Am I noticing a pattern in this looping pain of my mind? Was this something that my mom did? Was this something that my caregiver did all the time? Am I just repeating something? Was this always on the TV show that I used to watch as a kid? Just ask yourself. Be open to answers of where the pain comes from. And if you're in a lot of emotional pain, whether it's new, right? Like maybe you're having a really good day and all of a sudden you're like, ugh, don't beat yourself up over it. Be open and curious. Is this my pain? Is it the earth's pain? Is it my next door neighbor's pain? Is it my mom's pain? Is it my future child's pain? It's all now. Ask yourself. And then be open to hear the answer, whatever that looks like, and allow it to move through you. Tell your body that if it's, you can command it to leave. It's a little bit of a process, but you can start there. No judgment. I want to say hey to LaShonda and hey Darlene, how are you? It's so good to see you both on here right now. So yeah, y'all, pain. It's fun. So fun. It is fun though when you realize that something isn't yours and it dissipates like immediately. Just putting that out there. So keep taking care of yourselves and keep taking care of each other. I have tomorrow night is Expansions at 6. I have actually pre-recorded it. You can go ahead and watch it now on YouTube, and it will be posted on the Promise Resource Network Facebook page. But if you want to catch a glimpse, you can totally watch it. I'm really excited about this one because I talk about anger, spirituality, and social justice and how they all work together, how they can work together. So, because if you're just one of them, then but you combine those 3 babies, you become a powerhouse. That's what I'm talking about. So check that out, please. And then I'll be back live again Wednesday morning for Creating Something Awesome Sauce, and Wednesday night with the Michael for Love Talks at 5. And this Friday, ladies hangs. It's Zoom. It's private. We connect. We talk about all the things that we want to talk about. It's an hour. So if you're interested in that, you can shoot me a message directly and I can send you the Zoom link because I would love to have your presence, your words, your wisdom, your support, your witness, all that you are. I would love to have you on there, ladies. So enjoy this day, y'all. Enjoy this day. Drink water. Feel the vibes. Get some fresh air. Breathe deep. It may be polleny. You may sneeze, but that's okay. I love you all so much, and I will see you all so soon, okay? Bye, y'all.